Johnnie Walker Blue Label, an icon of luxury since its creation in 1992 and a true British original. And a signature part of flying in first on British Airways since 1994. I'm Tim Jackson. I'm responsible for all of the drinks we serve to our customers on board British Airways. To mark this historic 30th anniversary, I'd like you to come with me on a journey to find out literally what makes Johnnie Walker Blue Label great. Edinburgh, the Scottish capital and most visited city, is a great place for anyone to start their visits to Scotland. I've just landed from my British Airways flight. It's also the perfect place for me to start to explore Johnnie Walker Blue Label at their brand experience on Princes Street. Here we can see the range of Johnnie Walker blended Scotch whiskies, with Johnnie Walker Blue Label front and centre, alongside long-time icons Red Label that we serve in World Traveller and World Traveller Plus, and Black Label that's available in our club cabins. But to understand how all this came about and how Johnnie Walker Blue Label came to be created, we need to dig a little deeper.
So our story for Johnnie Walker goes back over 200 years now to 1820, when a grocery shop was opened for John Walker, our founder, in Kilmarnock. And that's where John started selling and eventually blending his own whiskies. But actually, our first branded product doesn't come until the time of his son, which was Alexander, and he created Old Highland Whiskey in 1867.
And then we get the evolution of the brand and the most famous coloured label sequence.
It's actually the next generation of Walkers that evolve Alexander's Old Highland Whiskey into a range of whiskies, which included what became Red Label and Black Label, originally called Special Old Highland Whiskey and Extra Special Old Highland Whiskey. And obviously that fantastic design, the slanted label and the square bottle that's become so iconic.
But then that asks the questions, where did Blue Label come from?
Like a lot of brands, there's a little bit of a backstory to Blue Label, and that starts with Johnnie Walker's Oldest, which was launched in 1987. Then it changed to Johnnie Walker Oldest, and then it was renamed Blue Label in 1992.
So here we have, from our own archives, some menus from our first class cabin from 1993, and we can see that it's listed Johnnie Walker's Oldest Scotch whisky. So by the time you get to 1994, and you can see here it says Johnnie Walker Blue Label Scotch whisky. So by 94, we're serving the new version. And similarly with Concord, we can see it's Johnnie Walker's Oldest Scotch whisky. By 1994, we have Blue Label.
We couldn't help but look in our own records to see how it was showing up. And I'm pleased to be able to share sales records going right back to the 1940s.
And we have here sales of Red Label, not just to Feltham near Heathrow, but actually to Hong Kong, to Bahrain, to Cairo, Alexandria. So this really is a global relationship of many decades. It was great to learn more about the origins of Johnnie Walker Blue Label, but I want to get behind the label and understand how it's made. I'm heading to the Speyside region near Inverness, which is the heart of Scotch whisky making, to visit the Cardew distillery. Famed for its iconic heritage, and with British Airways flying direct to Inverness, it's a must-visit for whisky-loving customers everywhere. To understand the role of distilleries like Cardew in the Johnnie Walker blend, I'm joined now by Emma Walker, first woman in history to hold the title of Master Blender for Johnnie Walker whiskies. Johnnie Walker is a series of blended whiskies, meaning as Master Blender you have perhaps the most important role in producing these whiskies. So I'd love to get your insights in just what makes Johnnie Walker Blue Label so special.
It was created to be a luxury whisky, one of the first in the world of Scotch. And it's handcrafted in small batches. We use techniques, we use skills that we hold for our rarest whiskies. It's a result of the combined knowledge of our small team of whisky makers. But we also look back at the heritage, the history that's come before us. And it's really interesting to know that the techniques that we use today, what we call vattings to create these sort of flavour building blocks, are exactly what the generations of blenders before us have done as well.
When you're building the shape of Johnnie Walker Blue Label, what are you looking for from malt whiskies versus grain whiskies and the different distilleries?
So we create these precise and considered blocks of flavour, and it ensures that we have that depth of character that people expect in Johnnie Walker Blue Label. And we found that it's only 1 in 10,000 casks in our maturing inventory of more than 10 million casks that have that depth of flavour, that rare character, that texture that works for Johnnie Walker Blue Label.
How many distilleries do you have access to? How big is that
So we're very lucky we have access to 29 or more different individual distilleries, and that includes our ghost distilleries or distilleries that have been long closed. And I mean, this blenders room is a great example of that, a showcase of that you have such a wide range of our different distilleries from across the four corners of Scotland. Each time we create Johnnie Walker Blue Label, it'll be slightly different. So we're looking to make the same flavour with that quality and that consistency each time, but we might use a slightly different combination of the whiskies and maturation styles each time.
It's become an integral part of First Class for our customers. It's something they'll ask for specifically because it's part of that experience.
For me, Johnnie Walker Blue Label is more about elegance and power. It's a bit like true haute couture in fashion, where the fabric is just beautiful and elegant. That's why it's such an icon of luxury, and that's why I'm proud to have had it flying in British Airways First for the last 30 years. So here's to British Airways First flying Johnnie Walker Blue Label, an icon of luxury since its creation in 1992, and a true British original.